Alrighty, buddy, welcome to the Wednesday live stream. A lot of stuff to go over. Let's just get into it. So first of all, just like title and thumbnail suggested, this was a long time coming. There was a legal case against Tornado Cash. And essentially what it is, the US government brought it against Tornado Cash or for the mixing services and said, look, these smart contracts that you guys are doing and all the mixing that you're doing, you're essentially laundering money, and we're going to stop it, and we're going to put the owner in jail, and it's going to be awful. And it was. And that's really what it was. So the question became, is code legal? Can you legally hinder code that is being created by people from all over the world? Well, apparently we have an answer. And this is Hayden Adams, and he is the co-founder, actually the CEO. That's weird. That's weird to say a CEO of any kind of crypto project, but sure. Of Uniswap Labs. Well, I guess Uniswap Labs, that makes sense. And he says, hey, immutable smart contracts just beat the Treasury Department in court. I have to tell you, I'm really liking where things are going. For like the last 2.5 years, we just got kicked in the teeth. The SEC beat us down. The Treasury beat us down. Let's just be honest. The Biden administration beat us down. They were not very happy with us. Operation Choke Point 2.0. And here we are today. I'm feeling like there's like a huge weight off my chest. I don't know if you feel that way. If you do, talk to me in the comment section, or we'll do a little Q&A. But this is how I'm feeling pretty damn good. So anyhow, this is what happened. This is the United States Court of Appeals in the Fifth Circuit. This is actually yesterday, November 26th, 2024. It states, we hold that Tornado Cash's immutable smart contracts, lines of privacy enabling software code, are not the property of a foreign national or entity, meaning one, they cannot be blocked under IEEPA, and two, OFAC oversteps its congressionally defined authority, which is just one more example of government going too far, which we all know they love to do. Incredible, the degree to which crypto is killing in federal courts, he states. And of course, here it is. And then this is Matt Corva from Consensus Legal Opinion. He says the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals ruling in favor of plaintiffs challenging the prior addition of Tornado Cash smart contract to sanctions list pursuant to IEPA is tremendous, incredible win, another blow to the administration state acting without updated and directional congressional authority, which is what has been going on in the background for quite some time. So I got to tell you, this is a great win. And there's been some price action. I didn't know this actually existed. Tornado Cash. Now I do remember this. It was quite a long time ago. But it jumped up, well, it says here 700%. Right here, it's 519%. If we take a look right now, it's only up a measly 413%. So congratulations for the 100 Tornado Cash holders or whoever is out there. I tip my hat to you. Congratulations. But it just gives us precedent, and we can actually move forward and say, look, if we want to create something, if a developer here, they shouldn't be scared about developing code, moving things forward, and not to be pounced on by the largest and most powerful government in the entire world. I think this is a huge win. I like what I see. So that's for that piece, which is great. And then also, not a bad little recoil action for the markets. Bitcoin's at probably, it's going to be at 97 at some point tonight. Who knows? Ethereum's up almost 10%, 7%. I don't know why I'm telling you this. It's not like you haven't checked your portfolio about 1,000 times a day. Wow, 12% for Stellar. Crazy. 10% for RAM, 23%, 23% for Uniswap. Just hear from that. So that is the news. Also, we don't live in a bubble. We have to take a look at what's going on in the macro environment as well. There's been some developments. I love this website, Market Watch. It'll tell you essentially the first line here is the actual, the middle one is forecast, and the last section here is previous. So actual, forecast, and previous, or AFP. And we can see that jobless claims, actual was 213,000. The forecast was 215,000, and this was last time. So we've got less people saying, hey, I'm not unemployed. That's pretty good. And we're moving in the right direction. Although some people would say that it's better if the economy does start to kilter off. That way that we can definitely chop rates. But I think not too bad so far. GDP, we'll see if this is, it states here, the first revision. You know this is going to change. 2.8%. And the prediction, 2.8. And previous was 2.8. Personal income actually doubled. 0.3 to 0.6%. Now, this may be something that is good. Some people say, oh, this is great. People are making more money. This is fantastic. However, you have to understand that we're talking about personal income, and this is the wages that are coming into it, is that those will actually be representative of the companies that they're working for, and that may actually go into the cost of the different services and the different goods that you're getting. So it could actually lead to somewhat of a minor inflation, but that's not what the PCE index is saying. 0.2 across the board. PCE year over year, 2.3, 2.3. Previous was 2.1. So we actually do have a little bit of inflation here. This is the previous, 2.1. The expectations was 2.3. I think the Fed realized what they were doing with cutting rates, and it actually came out. And then core PCE, 0.3 across the board. Core PCE year over year, uptick by 0.1%. I know what you're thinking. Who cares? Just tell me what I need to know. Here's what you need to know. When all these things come together, it really just comes down to, is Jerome Powell and the Fed going to cut? And after all that information I just gave you, this is what the market is saying. The target range so far is the target range right now is 450, 475. It looks like they're still going to cut basis points, 25 basis, and that is for a meeting that's coming on 18th of December. Let me refresh it to make sure that something crazy didn't happen. Went down a little bit, but actually yesterday it was actually at 63. No, it was actually at 64. So it's actually a little bit higher than what it was yesterday. So I'm feeling pretty good at that. We'll see if inflation tends to go out of control. So what does that mean for the markets? Well, for our markets, we just took a look. We had some big wins legally. We can't escape the macro. We can't just be in this little piece, but we're doing pretty damn good. But look at the S&P 500 over the last day or so. Well, 24 hours. I think it's going to close in about 8 minutes or so. It's going to close at a negative 0.4. But don't worry about the S&P 500. Take a look at the 5-day, the 1 month, the 6 month, and the 1 year. They're doing just fine. But it is interesting to note, because people always want to know about the uncoupling. Today was a down day for the S&P 500. And it was an up day for us. You know what? I'll take that as a win. So let me know what you think about that in the comments section. And now this is Dan Morehead. And this next piece is pretty good. I actually did a second stream. I only do usually one stream a day. And this was over a year and a half ago or so. Man, my head is enormous. But with this one, like I was talking about Dan Morehead as he came in, and I said, this is the most bullish interview I've ever seen. I linked this video in the description below. And this is Dan talking about what was going on. And in that video, this is when Bitcoin was $27,000. $27,000. Ethereum was $1,600. Solana was 20. Oh my God. Solana was $23. XRP was 50 cents. Watch out. Dogecoin 6 cents. And it was just such a bullish interview. And I was like, this guy's pretty crazy. I like what he's saying. I hope it comes true. And I'll be damned if it didn't. And the reason why I'm talking about Dan today is because this came up in my timeline. I was going to share this, but everybody likes the sensationalism, right? You'll see it. You see it on YouTube, all the different people that are out there like Bitcoin to this, and this is going to happen, and this is awesome, and this is going to explode, and whatever junk is out there. But like when I saw this, I'm like, another Bitcoin prediction. This is great. And I went through the whole thing and it was quite boring, quite honestly. I'm sorry. But when it said, here's a blog post, I was like, I'll just get the information in the blog post. I linked this in the description. I want everybody to read this blog post. I actually tweeted this out on X. And I said, stop what you're doing. Read this post right now. This is probably the most bullish you're gonna get. I like to give you a little bit of balance. Damn it, this was a good one. Pantera Bitcoin Fund hits 1,000x. That's not the big thing. The big thing is the power of belief and sticking to your guns and writing it out, using data to make informed decisions and going all the way out to as far as you possibly can. And that's what Dan Morehead and Pantera did. Look at this. This is crazy. This is an email from Dan to his constituents, to his investors on July 5th, 2013. And again, they're up over 1,000x since they started this this fund of Bitcoin. Here's the subject line, very timely. We should buy Bitcoin now at 65 bucks. Here was his thesis. The forecast Bitcoin washout happened very quickly. Bitcoins are now trading at 65 bucks, exactly the price they were trading at our first meeting on May 28th. I think we should buy aggressively now. Which you got to understand, 2013, that made no sense. This was just internet nerd money that no one wanted to touch. And it was all just for illicit activities, hiring hitmen, drugs, Silk Road. But here's Dan Moore going, we got to buy like crazy. The market cap of all Bitcoins ever created, and probably 10 to 25% have been lost or destroyed, which is now 740 million. The market cap of 740 million. That's it. On May 28th, 20 million would buy 156,000 Bitcoins. Boy, I wish Saylor could have done that. Wish he would have done that. Now it will buy 308,000 Bitcoins with $20 million. The price is going way, way up. It's going to squeeze up like a watermelon seed. I'm going to buy 30,000 Bitcoins this weekend with personal money. Oh my God. The fund can have this purchase or not as I wish. I just want to get involved. And that's just one. That's just one. He goes on to say, this is from August 2013, another email, November 6th. And where's the other one? There's another one from like 2015. But the long and the short of this, in 2013, we bought 2% of the world's Bitcoins. Even after 11 years, Bitcoin is still squeezing up. Honestly, I can't help thinking that we will still have many more years of compelling returns, which comes down to this crazy article of 740,000 by 2028. Who knows if that's true? And there was this last piece, where did we put it? These last two pieces, which I think brings it home. It's already done 3 orders of magnitude. Another one seems plausible. If and when Bitcoin gets to 740,000 per Bitcoin, that's a market cap of 15 trillion, not an inconceivable number relative to 500 trillion in financial assets. Actually, it's almost 1 quadrillion. If you take into account the world debt, if you take into account all of the stock markets throughout the entire world, if you take into account real estate and options and derivatives. That's not chump change. And I think Bitcoin at $1.8 trillion is a pittance. And then he talks about, this is the part about dedication. After the 87% crash beginning December 2013, Bitcoin faded from relevance. The market was still down 3+ years later. By 2016, almost everybody had given up on Bitcoin. Investors had no interest. I flew all around the world, did 170 investors meeting that year. The sum of result of all that effort, we could only raise $1 million. And there's a lot of great other stories here. But again, this is just showing you the power of just being able to say, I believe in this. I think it's going to work out. We see some good data and we're going to move forward. And I think that's what we should be focusing on. So that is where we're at for that one. I just wanted to bring it to everybody's attention. I thought it was pretty damn good. And Dan's got a pretty great one. So that's just on Bitcoin. Let's real quick talk about alts. Now alts, this is from Matthew Siegel. What is he? A CFA, head of digital asset research at VanEck. That's right. And he gives us a timeline because I know Bitcoin's going to do great, but what about alts? Matthew Siegel, head of digital assets research, argued on X that it's not technically necessary to have a CME futures market for crypto ETF approval. Are Solana ETFs coming? SEC's ETFs approval, more a matter of when, not if. If you're asking for the timeline, it's a great question. Here it is. So remember when we were all taking a look at the Bitcoin ETF and we were all taking a look at the first deadline, second, third, and fourth, which I thought always was a very, very bit strange, but that's how the SEC works. I think this is going to be accelerated. First of all, Gary's going to step down. I don't know who's coming in, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be, well, I can't say anything with assurance, but God knows, I think we could do better than Gary Gensler as far as his agreeability towards crypto and digital assets. But these timelines are as such. VanEck Solana Trust. It was filed on November 21st. Very nice. The first deadline, January 25th. I think that one will pass because that's just when Donald Trump comes into office. He has to get everybody in line. Maybe they want to do some things and figure some things out. But then you got 2 months. And then March is the second deadline. June is the third. And the fourth is August 8th. I would tell you, and I was actually talking to Sam, my financial friend. He has got a YouTube channel, and we did an interview. And he reminded me, they said, yeah, I remember that, roughly 1 year, 12 to 16 months, 12 to 14 months after a Bitcoin halving, usually we have somewhat of an all-time high. And if that's the case, then we just had our Bitcoin halving in April of 2024, which means in 2025, roughly around April, May, somewhere around there, June, we would have an all-time high of Bitcoin. So if we can get a second or third deadline for a Solana trust, what do you think the price of Solana is going to be? I'm not a big predictor. You can tell me in the comment section, but I think this is looking pretty good. Core Solana ETF, another Solana ETF, and they're all coming off the same time frame. One of these will get approved, and the price of Solana will probably go to the roof. Also, I find this quite odd, but in different countries, you don't have access to crypto and digital assets. I understand that. So congratulations, Valor launches the world's first Dogecoin ETP, giving Swedish investors regulated exposure to the meme coin via the spotlight stock market. I wonder how this is going to do. And I wonder if the Swedish investors know that Doge is a coin and not a governmental office. I know everybody's laughing. Of course they know what that is, Rob. What are they, morons? Of course they're not morons. Of course they're not. But I'm just going to tell you right now, I've had I've had a couple of people going, hey, why is Doge part of the government? I heard it on Fox News. And they talked about how Doge is now some department. Is there going to be a token for the department? How does that work? And that's why Dogecoin will pump. The Department of Government Efficiency is not Dogecoin. And Dogecoin is not the Department of Government Efficiency. But it doesn't matter, because people are going to get it confused. And that's all I care about as the bags get pumped. And then lastly, actually, I'm going to save this for tomorrow, this chill guy thing. It's pretty interesting. But I just want to thank everybody. Where'd it go? Yesterday, I gave a little heart-to-heart with you, and I asked for donations for Protechos. And the first one didn't get too many. The last yesterday, there was a lot of outpouring. Protechos, if you don't know, they are a nonprofit organization here in Puerto Rico, and they fix roofs just like this for underprivileged poor people that cannot afford it. Because if you can't have a roof, how can you have a home? And it's not just the leaks, it's actually they collapse and they injure people, and it's a great organization. So I want to say thank you to everybody who came out. I donated, you guys donated. Well, this is just me. But I mean, thank you so much for helping me out. I'm going to also match everybody's donations. So we appreciate it. And that's it for today. So look, if you like today's video, except for my coughing, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Everything we talk about is time sensitive.